started, and we are yapping. Hello, everybody. I know it's been a while, but if you haven't, if you forgot who we are, my name is Hannibal. I run a channel or something, and I got this guy right here, Pedro. I was gonna say his other name, but that's not. He's not that guy anymore. He's just Mr. Bellamy. He's Mr. Santiago. That's who he is.
Just call me by my government name. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
I don't know if you want to talk about it again because you talked about it a lot, but
Yeah, I think I'm good here. Yeah, I think we're okay. I mean,
okay. Well, I gotta say something. I'm sorry. So
okay.
listen,
Go ahead.
listen.
Are you gonna pour one out for the homies? What do you got in the cup? You gonna pour one out for the channel name?
This I think is they call this TikTok wine. Apparently XXL or something. It's like it's very sweet. But
TikTok wine. XXL is a brand, or what do you mean?
it's a brand wine. Let me see if I can show a picture of it. So this was here for a while because I had like a little birthday or Father's Day, one of those things. Now this is very cheap. You get it at Total Wine actually.
It's like Boone's. Are you drinking Boone's Farm, bro? What are you?
It's thought drinks. It's a thought beverage. Let me show you. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So cancel settings. Okay, can you see it? Cool. Why is it such a small? Let me blow it up.
It is small.
Yeah, it's
XXL peach.
Very cheap.
$8.47.
And look at the alcohol by volume. 16%.
You getting lit tonight, man. Jeez.
So this is definitely for the women. So I am doing a tribute to Pedro. This is extremely sweet. Like
you got the fancy shit out for me because you're always clowning on my beverages, but you're over here drinking women wine.
But yeah, but if you did have your woman drink some of this, you really enjoy the rest of the night, probably.
It's very strong. Yeah, it's possible. XSL's for the breezy Hannibal.
I know, but why Bobby had to show up? I do appreciate you being here, Bobby. But every time I'm about to embarrass myself, or I'm embarrassing myself currently, he jumps in. Like, he has to be here. It's fine. I appreciate you being here, Bobby.
Listen, I'd probably take that wine, put it on some ice. I'd add like a little like juice or something.
Yeah, it needs something else.
Yeah,
something to mix this with. But I'm gonna drink it straight for Pedro.
Oh Lord.
But what's the point of this? Oh yeah. It is the idea of being deactivated or being fired. I know it's two different. I mean, we call it deactivated because a person didn't tell you. It's email. It's all algorithm. But no, when I thought about what your situation is of being fired, it's a big difference between like being deactivated and fired. I don't know last time you've been fired, but I was fired. The last job I had I was fired.
Yeah.
And usually when I get fired, I was mad. Like first, I come out like, oh, fuck them. I don't need them. And I'll make it. I figured I got all these plans. But then like later on in the day, you're like upset.
It hits you. You're upset. Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is fucking terrible. And you're getting upset. You realize, especially, I think the few times I was fired before, there was no other way to make money. So you, just like most of us, right? Like you have a W-2, you do your thing, and then you get let go, either if it's fair or unfair. First you define, and then after a while you sit back and say, "Oh shit, what I'm going to do." But the last time I got let go was 2020, and because I had the gig app with the dog stuff, I don't remember being like upset. I was like, okay. There's other stuff I know I can do full time now with the dog stuff. So it's I don't think I had that level of upsetness, especially I didn't want to be there. So there's a difference when you have a real plan or something to fall back on.
Yeah.
Rather than most of us where we have this one job and things don't go right, whether it's our fault or not. It's like, yeah, you're obviously upset, you're defiant, but you sit back at the end of the day, you're like, yo, this is fucking terrible. What am I gonna do?
Yeah. Well, I think guys we have gigs and we have different ways and different options, and the pandemic kind of almost helped both of us in different ways with that. I know we've talked about it here and even offline, but yeah, I think when you get fired from like a W-2 or like a career-driven job, and it's sudden, even if in your mind you knew, hey, maybe I got some write-ups or whatever.
Yeah, it's just going wrong. Yeah.
When you get fired, it's a gut punch, right? You get mad and you get.
It's like rejection. I feel like it's like and in fact, like I should have quit first. They catch you before you catch them. I've quit a few jobs before where I realized this wasn't but to get fired, there's two firings I remember. One, I first started doing the dog thing. I didn't have a lot of experience. I guess I just wasn't a good employee. and the last one with the working there as a manager. So the first one was feel like rejection. Like, how do you let me go? Like, I'm trying to put some effort in here, but I guess the gig thing I feel is even worse because you're not talking really to a human being unless you afterwards. It just happens.
So you think a deactivation in a gig app's worse because there's no personal touch involved? Is that what you're saying? Like, there's no like.
I mean, I guess you can look at it both ways. Like, if you want to get fired, do you want to wait to the end of the day, which is the worst way to let go somebody? But they do that. Well, some places do that where you work all day, and then they tell you you're lost
for nothing, and you might be working on something or a project or this or that, and it's all for naught. It's nothing.
It's like call me. But I've heard, and I mean, you've managed places before. When you need to let someone go, what's the best way to do it? Over the phone, in person, before their shift, at the end of the shift? Like, what's your ideal firing time?
Well, it depends on the kind of job you have. I mean, right now, I think virtual firing is popular. People that work from home or this or that. Like, it's a thing.
Already. Yeah.
Virtual. I think it depends on the kind of job you have. I believe if you're a manager managing individuals, and like you see them on a daily, and you're coaching them and managing them and expectations, a firing should happen in person. I think employees deserve that respect of an honest conversation. And I didn't do it after a shift. It's before a shift. So if somebody comes in for a shift from 10 to 5, you're going to have the conversation with them before they got to be clocked in, but then you got to let them go. You don't have to work and then fire them afterwards, So that's kind of weird. But I think in some professions, maybe that's more common. But as soon as you know what's going to happen, you got all the ducks in a row, you have that conversation and you make it very, very simple and sweet and short, and you don't personalize it. It is what it is. And if they got questions, it's either talk to HR or here's this and that's it. And you got to walk them out, and it's a whole thing sometimes. So
yeah. Bobby said the vaccine mandate, which is crazy how that all panned out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, your ability to make money is based on this thing that's supposed to be optional. Then all of a sudden it wasn't optional. I mean, it depends on where you are, what position, but that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Gig he said, never been fired. I've quit many times. Gig just has the feeling like I should quit now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Sometimes when you get fired, depending on your job, they got to give you severance or this or that.
Yes.
So
which is
unemployment. So there's sometimes getting fired situationally is actually financially better for you, at least in the interim, unless you got another job lined up.
Yeah, because and if you're making the maximum amount they can give you, I forgot here in New York City I think it's $500 a week, or at one point it was, and at one point people were getting paid more to stay home than go to work. So it's like Jody said I've been fired a few times, all my fault. That's also kind of cool. I mean, not cool for Jody, but the fact that to be self-aware. Like I realized the times I've probably been let go was my fault. Maybe probably didn't feel that way at the time.
Yeah.
But I was like, we're not clicking. It's not a good team. It's not a great environment. It needs, people need to separate. Just like kind of like a divorce or relationship breakup. It's like, two parties, like, you were upset with DoorDash, you got tired of dealing with it.
Yeah.
You kind of did things that kind of make a breakup, right?
Yep.
Like you got upset.
I think subconsciously, and I've been thinking about it, I think subconsciously I was just kind of over it. And I'm always somebody that just does what I do. And sometimes I know what I'm doing, but I'm not like worried about the repercussion necessarily, because I need to just get it out. I need to just, that's who I am. It's a flaw of mine, but I've learned to live with it. Right. And there's benefits to that and there's negatives to that. But I think, I was just kind of like over it and wanting to try something different and just not really, for me, I think when you're looking at a food delivery app or any kind of gig, you can replace them very easily. Because it's not like a career necessarily where you're making 6 figures on this one job. And, and to find another job that matches that or is close, it might take you several weeks or a month or longer. So it's like with something like this, you just sign up for another app. And it's not like you can't find something where you're going to make $25 to $30 an hour. It's very easy. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been an interesting week for sure.
Well, you say you're doing pretty well about it. Like you're a celebrity, so you had many videos to break it down and, trying to have their own theories, their own perspectives. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it's not cool. You be deactivated, it's not cool, but the idea that so many people thought it was an interesting topic
crazy
to talk about.
Other people made more videos about it than I did. And I've made one a few, but
Right.
it's part of it. It's YouTube. People have opinions, and they got this and they got that. You know, when you have DoorDash in your middle name, it's, you know, and you get deactivated. It's
Yeah, you've had this marriage with the company in one way or another. At least they can't tell you you're a shill. They can't say you got paid by DoorDash. That at least that one
over with.
that one myth could officially die. You can't deactivate the person if you're paying them, or you're supposed to be a shill, right?
We're still waiting on the FBI to show up. All these things that people professed, and it's like none of it ever.
I thought he'd stop making videos. I didn't know he still made videos. It kind of came randomly. I'm like, oh, he's back.
He got deactivated too,
which is hilarious. The video is 50 minutes. I did not watch it to know what he did, but I remember I was telling my chick about it. I was like, yeah, that guy was supposed to call the FBI on us like a year ago. So I'm not gonna pay attention to watch the rest of this video. I'm sure it's something that he did wrong, but he was supposed to go to his local FBI office and just irritate them with shit that's not important. Like there's kidnappings, there's drugs going on, you know, drug trade, there's there's so many issues.
Yeah.
But they're gonna think this goofball gonna walk in here and report to the FBI about a glitch in an app.
About a guy
from YouTubers
apparently lying to people and in cahoots with DoorDash, and I need to get my shit. Those are fun times, man. Was that last year?
They were weird times
to be in, you know.
They were funny.
Looking back is definitely very funny, but yeah, I'm not really. It's gonna be good, man. I think it's good. It's gonna challenge my brain and my mind to try different things and look at things different. Even the content creation stuff, you know. You and I are similar in some ways right now. We're making content and we do okay with it. And there's moments probably, I'll speak for myself, and maybe I'm speaking for both of us, but there's moments we enjoy it. There's moments we don't enjoy it as much. There's moments we get bored with it. There's moments that's like, okay, well, I got to make this video to feed the algorithm, to feed my audience, and we got to respect our audiences. But then it's like, well, do I do another ride along? Like I've done 100 of the, you know, so it's like, it comes to the point where a fresh start, where you don't know what's going to happen. For somebody like me, I really like that. You know, like try a different app, or to go a completely different direction for a whole month with the channel and try this and don't talk about DoorDash at all. Like, I don't know, but the unknown sometimes can be scary but fun, because it could be a better thing long term. You know what I mean? So for me, it was never like I'm not going to be this DoorDash guy on YouTube forever. And sometimes I just basically ripped the Band-Aid off, right? And looked at it and said, "Fuck it. All right, there's a little bit of a scar there, but we'll be good. Let's go. I'm not gonna, you know, wallow in it and ask for, you know, people to be pity party on me. Like I did what I did, and I feel good about it." So
yeah, I think you're in a creative space, so being creative is important, especially when you need to do much of a pivot, and it's not a major pivot. It's just you know, a really popular app, but there's other stories to be told, and at least for me, talking about this crazy mayor, it is getting a little bit redundant. There's news about her every week, it seems like.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's other stories to follow. But at the same time, YouTube YouTube something, and when you stray away from it, as everyone knows, YouTube doesn't, you know, it won't show it.
You strayed away and did fantastic, right? So
yeah, it took a while. It took a while to kind of figure out what the people want, or what the people like me to give to them. Yeah. But I think at the same time, you know, it's like I said, it's interesting. Like it's a challenge. Yeah. There's people going to ride with you no matter what. There's some people may not be interested. So it's kind of similar to music, right? Like artists try to do some new shit, and sometimes we do not like it. As case in point,
Andre 3000.
You hated him now. You hate him. You don't want to talk to him anymore. Like you would never support anything he does.
That's harsh. If I saw Andre 3000 like in the mall or pumping gas, I'd fanboy. I'd be like, okay, you know, there's no.
You wouldn't talk about that. You would just want to bring it up. You like
bring it up at all? No. He might punch me in the face. I'm not gonna disrespect the man. He's a legend, but you know, I mean, you know, yeah.
He has that same feeling. He probably got tired of doing the same old stuff.
Probably.
And he picked up a flute. It's like, I like this. Oh yeah, I have something to ask you though. The Kendrick thing, real quick. Kendrick Lamar is now shooting a video for Not Like Us. Is that too old? Like,
Is that too
I'm looking
late?
at them like,
That's too late, right?
right. That's what I was gonna ask you. Like, is it too late? 'Cause I saw some
Well,
pictures and stuff, and he just had that really great concert. Like, you gonna make a video now? Like, you just rub it in Drake's face. You're like,
well, I mean, Drake is done. Like, well, he's not done. Let me backtrack. That's not fair to him. But Kendrick won that. We expected him to win it, but he's definitely continuing on, right? The video, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know about that. Obviously, the concert went very well, from what I understand. I didn't see a whole lot about it, but I've seen clips and people talking about it. Seems like it was a success. He's got another NBA superstars, and other rappers on the stage, and he's representing Compton. And
oh yeah,
I mean,
like, the whole squad came
it
out.
was a big deal on Juneteenth, right? Like big deal. But a video, I mean, why not? I guess. I mean, it's part of Kendrick Lamar's whole season this year, or the last 2 years, has been the beef, everything he's done, the diss tracks. I mean, I think it's the #1 downloaded song on iTunes, right? Like last year came out. So I'm not surprised by it. I mean,
I'm tired of listening to it though, but
yeah,
because it's been played so much. I mean, if it comes on, I'm not gonna turn it off. But I'm like, after a while, I was like, okay, it's good, but it's not. I don't want to keep listening to it the entire year. I was just wondering when I saw that. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna shoot a video. I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's cool.
I think I don't know. I think the Kendrick Lamar, it's weird, man, because I think Drake obviously lost, but like we've talked about it a few times. It's almost like when you expect something to happen. You know, the Boston Celtics, right? Like we've been talking about basketball. It's like that's kind of the #1 team all year. You expect it, and it's kind of like lackluster. It's cool. Wasn't the best finals ever. Not a lot of drama. It didn't go 7 games, right? So it's kind of like, it's just you feel like you expect it. It's not as fun, right? I don't know. I thought the concert he did was, hip hop. We don't see a lot of that in hip hop.
This is his season. He started a little rocky, but yeah, he did the damn thing. So have you been watching? I know I'm bouncing all over the place, but have you been watching WNBA? Have you been watching Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese? Have you been following the story at least, or you've been watching the games?
I've been watching games. I saw the game yesterday where the Sky won.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that game. It was a really good game. Really good game. But I've been following it. Yeah, I've been watching. I don't watch a lot of the WNBA, but I watch during the weekends if there's a game on. I watched the Aces play the other day. They beat the Connecticut Sun, which is the #1 team in the WNBA. At that point, they only had 1 loss or maybe no losses, and the Aces won. The Aces have been kind of down this year. They're trying to go for a 3-peat, but they've only won, I think, 6 or 7 games, so they're just slightly above 500. But I've been keeping up. There's a good mix of good basketball, good players, a little bit of drama, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of like what's going to happen next. And for me, I'm good with that. So I've been keeping up with it.
I would say if YouTube is a signal that the WNBA can be something, then it's a good positive thing because there's tons of videos about daily, and most of it's talking points about Caitlin Clark being this and being that.
Yeah, there's channels dedicated to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and other girls. Like it's a big. There's money in it now because there's eyes on it, right? So it's interesting. But I've been following it, man. The game yesterday was really good.
Yeah, I mean, Angel Reese had 25 points at 60. She can play, like all of them can play, and the storyline is there, and the ticket sales. So but they're still losing money, but they should be closer to not losing money soon. And Caitlin Clark had a couple of they had a few like a win streak a little bit. She's kind of coming together. It's not too bad. People can't really come in and like this is boring. They don't have the athletic ability of the men, but the story is there. And that's all we need. It's the story is not saying it's more important. You still need to have like the skill on the court, but story, it means everything. Even if it's a black and white thing.
Stories. There's a lot of stories, and there's going to be more. Like I've been talking, man. Like there's a lot of young ladies coming out of college in the next year or two that are going to come in this league and really do some good things. Juju Watkins, one of them, Paige Beckers, and a few others. So this thing is going to continue to go up. But the hate that Caitlin Clark gets is weird. The amount of love that she gets is also weird. It's just a weird situation. I think people like weird. You know what I mean? They like the storyline.
Yeah. I think the weird thing to me is, well, twofold. Yeah, like you said, it's people who love her. Shut up, Gig. You know you watch that stuff. Well, my favorite player is down for the year, but
you said it first. I was gonna mention it, but you said it. Cameron
yeah,
Brink, he's down.
The ACL.
Crying, man. He was crying.
It was devastating. But there's some nice tall, glasses of water. They're playing, but I think there's definitely some staying power. Like you said, more players coming in. The Olympics thing is, I think it still be a disappointment if she's not on the team, because if they're just doing the usual dominating everyone, then that's not much of a interesting story to watch, right? Like the Celtics beating the Mavs was not interesting because it looked like the Mavs had no chance. And if there's no challenge, there's no competition, or at least it's not strong enough, people stop watching. But the NHL had Game 7. That's a big deal. Obviously, Game 7 is more important. So I think as long as these players continue to have those storylines and that emotional stuff, and a little bit of the back and forth, and go back to what I was saying about Caitlin Clark. So they have the people who just love everything she does and thinks that she's being abused, or people like on that side, which is weird. But then you got people on the other end saying Caitlin Clark is responsible for their behavior because she doesn't speak out on it. When someone may do Angel Reese is a thug, or gets that high end conservative thing, and they're criticizing Caitlin Clark for not denouncing it or not speaking up on it, when she says, well, I disagree with that, but everyone has their own mind. I can't, I'm just one person. People get mad about that. Like, she can't win either way.
She's pretty PC too, right? She's kind of like a Steph Curry in that way.
Trained clearly
Jordan back in the day, when Jordan was like, well, Republicans buy sneakers too. Like Jordan wouldn't take hard stances like somebody like LeBron would, or a D Wade, or a Melo, or somebody else, right? More current, or like a Jim Brown or Bill Russell back in the day. Like, some athletes don't take stances because they're just like, I'm here to play ball, and maybe I'll take stances when I'm retired, but I'm here to play ball, cash checks, right? And she's kind of like that. But yeah, the love she gets is weird. The hate that she gets is weird. It's just weird, It's just strange. Houston had the best last. They won 2 years in a row. I think Houston Comets won.
I think they won 3. I think, right?
They had
3 out of 4. Houston, Cooper, Sarah Swoops, Tina Charles.
Yeah. They won 2 back-to-back. I don't know if they won 3 in a row, but they were
the first dominant WNBA team. Like, they had a little bit of a dynasty there. So I do remember that. I don't know if they were all lesbians. Cheryl Swoops was a lesbian.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think so. She had a kid. She had a kid, came back, still was balling over people. Remember that? Yeah,
I do remember that. She did come back. Yeah, she was good. But I don't. Yeah,
it was Comets.
Yeah.
Comets, Bobby.
Cute.
Wait, is this still Comets? No, right? There's no Houston team anymore. Is there?
I don't think so. No, there isn't.
Bring that back.
All right, look it up. Now
I'm just saying right now,
because I'm the resident WNBA expert. I don't think there's a Comets team. There's a Dallas team, Dallas Wings. I ain't no Houston team. I don't think so.
No, they stopped at 2008. Wow, we're way. You can tell we're paying attention. The name stopped in 2008, I think.
And that's no. So they didn't even last. I wonder why. I have to look that up. There's got to be a reason for that, because they were winning. They won the first few, so it's kind of weird to have a team leave that was a benchmark in the beginning, and then you bring in the Dallas Wings later. That's kind of weird. But
it's they're trying to make that money, so that's why I hope that they can do it. Are they close to the playoffs or something? Like, I know they only play 40 games, right?
I think they're about, some teams are about halfway.
Yeah, halfway.
So still got some teams, like the Fever have played more games than I think any team. It's weird. They have like 5 or 6 more games than like the Aces and the Sky and other teams, but I think they're about halfway. Yeah.
But my prediction, Pedro. I think the New York Liberty are going to win, because they're from New York.
Yeah. See, you say that because you're also from NY, but you wouldn't be wrong, because they're a really good team, but you have no idea what you're talking about.
No, just look it up. They're number 1 Eastern Conference right now, 15-3.
They're good. They're real good. They went to the finals last year. They lost to the Aces, so the Liberty are legit. 100%.
Yeah, they gotta get their shit together. God damn it, we need to bring a championship. I'll take anything. I'll take anything.
At this point, yeah.
Let's just jump into the Reddick thing.
What do you think, man? I want. So let me. I'm gonna ask you a question, and you just go and wherever you want to go, because I've seen a lot about it. But like, is this a good hire or a bad hire? Like, what's your gut tell you?
Okay, so to me, this is a big like branding, marketing decision rather than a decision about basketball because the man has no coaching experience. And we went, at least I thought the NBA went down this path of just grabbing former players and thinking that they're going to be Steve Kerr or something.
Yeah.
And New York has done this. They had the Derek Fishers. No, Isaiah Thomas actually had good coaching runs before this, but they tried this. Brooklyn with Steve Nash. Oh yeah, just bring a point guard or a guard, really smart. They manage, and then that falls apart. Like being able to coach basketball is more than just the fact that you played it. Like the Boston coach, he didn't play NBA ball, and that was
he played high level. He played high level college ball.
Right, but he,
I think he made it to. I think he played in the league, but he wasn't like a JJ Reddick 12-year vet. I think he played a couple years.
Right.
But he was really good. He went to West Virginia. He was good. Missoula was he was good in college. Yeah.
But you don't necessarily need to have a long NBA tenure. But
he coached at 3 other places, but very small high school and in small colleges. So Joe Missoula had a lot of coaching experience actually.
So I'm trying to think: is this because there isn't a lot of coaching prospects available anymore? Does it matter? I think to keep LeBron there, what coach you want? Because you're going, if you don't like him, they get fired anyway. What do you want? Oh, you want this guy?
JJ said that they didn't talk about it, that LeBron wasn't part of the decision. So it's like
all right. Who believes that? Who believes who believes that LeBron had no say in this matter?
I think it can go either way. I think the Lakers wanted Dan Hurley. They threw him a bag of like 70 or 80 million.
Tons of money.
He turned them down, which is like, wow, but good for him, right?
I think he thought, okay, I'm inheriting a really old LeBron.
Yeah.
Things are not gonna go right. I'm gonna get fired. Let me stay where I'm the man.
Yeah.
And maybe get a better shot with a better long-term team. Like instead of LeBron being his age.
And a younger team, because he's an aggressive coach. He gets in the face. He coaches hard. He has a different culture. I don't know if he'd do good in the NBA because it's a different.
Maybe a young team, perhaps. Like if the average age is early 20s, then. But yeah, you're right. LeBron gonna get. No one's gonna yell in his face, or Anthony Davis. It's not gonna work. So
yeah.
Do I think this is gonna work? No.
Oh
no. Okay. No, I don't think this is gonna work. I don't think he's gonna be
4 years. I think I heard 4 years. So you think
he will not complete 4 years? If I had a bet right now, he will not complete it.
Interesting take. Okay.
Because as much as people, I'm sure there's people, I'm one of them, who values JJ Redick's basketball-minded, the way he can explain. He's very entertaining. Yeah. He's not gimmicky. He throws some little hot takes there, obviously, about the plumbers and firemen thing.
Yeah.
But now I'm sure there's going to be people in that locker room that thinks, or at least thinking ahead, does he deserve this? I got to listen to him. Egos come into play. Now, if LeBron, I guess LeBron's the leader, obviously, and Anthony Davis is on board, then everyone else should be on board. But you never know, especially if things don't go well in the beginning of the season. They're, I don't know, 6-5 or something. What's going on? Can he manage these type of things? I think Adonis Haslam was talking about this. I forgot what channel he was on, but it's like it's the locker room that he needs to have control of. And you have no experience on managing that as a coach. Can you handle that? Now I think he has a pretty good set of assistant coaches coming with him, but like you're the guy and shit goes wrong. How do you handle that? I mean, it's easy to talk shit as a commentary, talking about how bad Doc Rivers is, but are you going to be able to handle the shit that Doc Rivers had to handle with the egos and all this type of stuff? So it is really interesting, though. I mean, definitely going to bring a lot of attention to the Lakers.
That's an interesting take. I look at it from a different point. I think the locker room won't be his issue. I think he's pretty well respected. He's interviewed a lot of the big name players and stars. He's color commentator. He's got the podcast, which is going to go away. He said that today, that they're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
So I think he has a level of respect that's different than like Steve Nash had when he was going.
But why so? I mean, consider like Steve Nash is a multi MVP. He was a fantastic point guard.
Steve Nash is a little. I think JJ Redick has a little bit of a better personality to fit in with that locker room. The locker room is going to be in. I think that won't be his issue. I think, to your point though, you made a good one. Yeah, if they're 6-5, they lose the first 3-4 games. That media, it's in LA.
In LA too, big deal.
It's gonna be a big deal. You know, like it's because the X's and O's ain't the issue, right? But also, you don't need to teach LeBron X's and O's necessarily. You just need to get them on the same page. But obviously, to have a relationship, I don't know. I think it's gonna be interesting. We got to remember Pat Riley was an ex-player, played for the Knicks, won a championship with your New York Knicks, I believe. No,
Phil Jackson.
That was Jackson. But Riley will play with the Knicks, though. Yeah. So, I don't think he coached before. I think they're looking.
And Bobby has a good point. If he really had the passion, he would have started coaching. And the lower levels shows a little bit of humility. It shows your commitment. So, like Sam Cassell hasn't had a chance to be head coach. Now, I'm not saying he would have been a great head coach for LA, but he's been in coaching for a minute. I feel like as soon as he retired, he kind of went to the bench.
Yeah.
So like they didn't go with him, and I don't know if he got interviewed. He may have. I'm not sure. He definitely, yeah. So I'm just wondering. This is definitely a big splash. It looks flashy. I'm gonna watch games. I'll probably watch more Lakers games than usual, like because they're usually a little late. But I'll see Reddick there and see how they interact when LeBron looks at him.
Yeah. You'll watch in the beginning to at least see how he does. But so let me ask you this: do you think Sam Cassell should have gotten the job over JJ Redick? Like, if you're making that decision, are you picking the marketing thing, like you said, and the buzz and all that, and or are you picking maybe the safer bet, not as much buzz, not as much glitz, but the guy's been doing it for 20 years. Sam Cassell's probably been coaching at some point for 20 years. So who do you take? Who's your pick?
I think for me, I'm the safe guy, so I think Sam Cassell would be it. But I think what happened is they asked LeBron what he wants, and LeBron said, "Now they could sit there and first of all, you have a podcast with you. Yeah. You guys talk for hours. You're telling me you never talked about the coach. Like, come on, man, the coaching position. Like, as soon as that guy decided not to take the money, not to go,
they had to talk.
Was on him. Like, hey, this is your chance.
They had to. They had to.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, how do you not? That's kind of like that's a big deal. So,
right.
I don't know. I think Sam Cassell deserves a shot just because and he's won in places as an assistant.
Yeah, he won championships.
Player, so he definitely deserves a shot. But I think to your point, like you said in the beginning, it's a marketing thing, it's a buzz thing, it's an LA thing. I mean, I think if it's another team, he might not even want to go to it. Who knows? There's other teams that needed coaches. Detroit just fired Monty Williams, which is crazy. They're going to pay him like 50 or 60 million.
Monty doesn't have to work anymore. Between the two teams he got fired, why coach? I mean, unless you love it, but also you coach really bad. I didn't watch a lot of the Pistons. A lot of blame was on him. Like he was a bad coach. I don't know.
Hannibal, he's been coach of the year twice for two different teams. He can't be a bad coach if you're going coach of the year. I think
that was really bad. I mean, that record is terrible. Usually you don't. And like you said, winning coach of the year, but that team and that record was awful. Like
it was bad.
Kind of hurt your career a little bit. Would you bring it back to coach your team?
That's a young team. I mean, I think what I'm seeing, and we see it in football, baseball, we see it in a lot of sports now. The shelf life is short.
Yeah.
Usually back in the day, a guy would get 4 or 5 years. Now it's like you get 2 years, and after the second year, if it's not a trajectory and we're not in the playoffs, done. And people are just so quick. These owners and these managers and GMs are so quick to just get the next guy. And it's hard as a player, too, I would imagine, to have all these different guys and assistants coming and going. Monty Williams wasn't even in Detroit that long. They fired the Griffin guy from the Bucks. He wasn't there that long. So it's just this trend in the NBA is like you got a year and a half, not even 2 years, and then you're done. So you might be right about the JJ Reddick. They gave him 4, but it could be 2 years. LeBron's done. LeBron's probably done after this year. Okay, I can imagine LeBron leaving. They trade AD. They're a young team. Season 2 with JJ Reddick, or season 3, they're young and they're bad. And yeah, he might last 3 years. So you're probably right.
I was trying to do a quick search of which of the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, and National Hockey, which coaches usually have the shortest coaching tenures.
Oh, I think it's probably the NFL.
I get like the direct numbers, but it said of those 4, the NBA and NFL usually have the shortest coaching tenures, which the NBA often experience the most frequent coaching changes.
I can see that.
And NHL coaches tend to stay longer than all of them. Yeah. And apparently, they said MLB managers usually have the longest tenure among the 4 leagues.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of managers in MLB, man. I remember watching it when I was younger, even now. They be managing them teams at least 10 years, sometimes 20. Like the MLB is different. Yeah, for sure.
There's a different vibe.
I think it's when we talk about media and marketing, the NHL and MLB are different. Those sports don't have buzz about them. They're not talked about on ESPN a lot, right? Unless it's the playoffs or something. But the NFL and the NBA kind of rule the sports media on ESPN and everything else. So those are the coaches that are under more pressure and under the lights. And when you have that and the team's not doing well, our organization also probably feels that pressure to get rid of a coach. Whereas the NHL and MLB, I mean, you could say who's coaching this team in the MLB. Most people ain't even know who the coach is. Yeah. So the pressure is different on the other 2 sports.
I agree. I think that's where it is. Where, especially the faster the pace of the game, the shorter the shelf life, or at least the coaching tenure. This is totally unrelated, but it's kind of related because as an NFL coach. Did you hear about Bill Belichick and his new girlfriend?
I saw something on probably TikTok, and she's like not even 30, like 27 or some shit.
24. What's your thoughts?
That's nasty.
Now, Bill is nasty.
That's nasty. That's my
listen. Hold on a second. Let's on. So she's a 24 former cheerleader. Bill Belichick is probably 104. Actually, how old is he?
70 something.
72.
That's nasty, bro. Come on, man. If you're
24, 48 years younger. Now, hold on a second. I understand what you're saying, but they're both adults.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. They're both adults.
I hear you. If he's in his 50s, it's one thing. That could be his great granddaughter, bro. That's different.
Yeah, I totally understand. Yeah.
That's different. Yeah, that's not. I don't even know. And she's a cheerleader, so what?
What's up, Nova? He said Bill Belichick is winning off the field.
Hey, listen, I'm not hating, but I can say it's weird. Like, that's weird.
Bobby says, I agree. That's disturbing.
It's weird. It's weird. He was married for a while, and then he had a girlfriend for the last 1 or 2 championships they won, and she was a little younger than him, but not significant. This is significant. This is like younger than his son, like significantly younger than his kids. It's weird, man.
Bill Belichick don't give a damn.
Well, he retired. He's the GOAT of coaching. I mean, he can do what he wants. I mean, good for him, I guess, but it's still weird. I
remember they showed clips of Kenny Smith with a girl on the beach. And I think the guys were kind of ribbing him a little bit, but not about that because, they ain't trying to blow him up or anything. And Kenny Smith is divorced. But this woman that he was with, like, it was a model, clearly in her 20s. And Kenny Smith is in his 50s.
Yeah. To me, that's a little different. Now, I said 50s. I can you're adding 20-something years. That's crazy. It's a whole person, bro. You're adding on a whole nother life. That person has lived life and went to school and could have their own kids. Like, that's nuts, man. You're like doubling up on the age. Like, I don't know. I mean, she looks like she's an attractive young lady. I mean, she's got something going on for herself because I'm not. If I'm that old, listen, let me say it like this. If I'm that old, I'm not making that shit public. I'm just gonna keep that shit private. I might.
It looks like Bill don't give a damn. Yeah, because he's probably public with her and everything. I would assume. What do you have in common with a 72-year-old to a 24-year-old? Yes. Probably a whole lot. So it must be just a physical thing.
I mean, you can't. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm not making it public. If you want to have some on the side because you're an older man, you want a younger woman, you like how she looks and what she can do. I ain't gonna hate you for that. But like, what do you? like I'm not stepping out like this is my girlfriend. I'm 75 years old. I ain't got no girlfriend at 75 unless she's like older like me. I'm not.
Right.
It's weird, man. It's weird.
Belichick got that Blue Chew subscription for sure.
Clearly, he's popping them fucking blue.
I mean, you know, it looks like the usual, you know, sugar daddy situation, right? And maybe not. Maybe I don't know who this person's famous. It's 24, so she doesn't. I'm sure doesn't have the resources that Bill Belichick has.
No way.
And apparently last year he broke up with his I guess girlfriend for 14 years.
Yeah, Phil Sublime.
So because you know, it's weird. I'm not gonna say. I mean, he could have, like I said, maybe a 30, 40-year-old, 50-year-old, but he went Al Pacino type stuff. Like 30. No, I think Al Pacino's like 80 and he had a kid. Was it Al Pacino or Robert De Niro? I think it was Al Pacino had a kid recently.
There's a couple old guys that got some kids. Oh, Alec Baldwin's got a gang of kids, and he's hella old. He's old. He's got he's got like 10 kids or some shit. But yeah, there's a guy, the the lead singer from Red Hot Chili Peppers, right? Alex, whatever. Last name starts with a K.
I remember seeing pictures of he has a young. Is it younger than that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like this one is like the one he's with. I think is 19. So yeah, so Al Pacino's 83 years old. That was last year. So he's 84 now.
That's a problem.
And he had a kid with his 29-year-old girlfriend.
That's crazy, man. I mean, it's all sexual. You can't tell me a 29-year-old's got something in common with Al Pacino. Come on. I mean, that's nuts, man.
It's weird. It's a little weird.
I mean, but listen, they got the money, they got the power, they got the influence. These women are coming at these guys. It is what it is, man. I mean, I don't know. Maybe when I'm 80, if I'm, you know, rich and famous like Hannibal, maybe I'll bag me a 20. I have no idea.
You know that the person is waiting for you to croak so they can take your money. Like what's that Playboy Anna Nicole Smith, like marrying a billionaire that's on the verge of death.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro had a kid too. Yeah, these guys is just, you know what? That technology, that Bluetooth technology. Let me check real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I had a kid. I was 39, and I thought that was crazy. So, I mean, I'm not having any more though, man.
You done? Retired?
Bro, 80. Al Pacino's popping kids out of 80. He's a better man than me. Fuck it. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah. Robert De Niro, 7 kids. His youngest is. He just had another one. No, 7. Yeah, no. You're right. Apparently, he announced since May that he's had another one coming. Let me show you. Let me see where is that. Yeah,
that's crazy. That makes no. This is weird.
Look how old this man is.
I mean, look at him. Listen. That's Bobby De Niro, though. I mean, legendary.
Yeah, Raging Bull. But still, is he still Raging Bull? He's he announced in May, and he welcomed his 7th child. Let's see if they show the age of the mom.
Let me ask you a question. These guys, obviously, a lot of power and influence and money and lights and cameras and action, but now that stuff dwindling. These guys are seeing the last days of them being on Earth. Do you think it's a little bit of like, I want to leave something, I want to live vicariously, I don't want to die yet, and they're like popping kids and dating 24-year-olds? Do you think it's like the middle-aged man crisis has just been a little bit like delayed for some of these guys? You know what I'm saying?
I think they're at an age they do not care. They don't care. They're gonna do whatever they want to do. The end is near. They don't give up. They don't give a fuck. I feel like even with what's that actor who always dates young models and people make fun of him. He don't care. Leonardo DiCaprio. He does not care.
Yeah.
He's going to date the young models. He don't give a damn what people say. He's probably not checking on it. So I think maybe just as they get older, like, I'm going to do whatever I want. Have a kid at 80, which again, that's weird.
Leo's like probably pushing almost 50, right? So
yeah.
Is he going to be banging 20-year-olds when he's 70? Probably. You're right. Yeah, he probably would be.
I guess, right? It's a bit like everyone has their own way of dealing with the end. I don't think I'm going to be producing more towards the end because like both actors in the 80s. So by the time this child is 20, you're gone.
And that's what
natural causes and whatnot. So now that 20-year-old just, you know, I mean, they have so much money, they have the resources, but still, your father's gone because of not of anything tragic. He was really, really old.
Yeah, that's crazy. Imagine you're like a 10-year-old, your dad's 90. What the fuck? Like, you got a 90-year-old dad.
Yeah, everyone has regular ages of kids around, and you follow old.
That's crazy. But if you're, it's pretty dope if your dad's Robert De Niro or Al Pacino. I mean, I guess that's not a bad thing necessarily. I guess, but
you gotta show the clips because most of these kids don't know these actors. My son doesn't know who these actors are. You have to show him some good stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's also something father, I guess, related, paternity related that I want to talk to you about. I don't know if you caught this. I had the picture, but I may have not put it up. It was about, I don't know if this is true, but I think it's possible because these women nowadays, these Instagram models, they just say whatever they want to say. But let me see if I show it. So Cam Newton has many baby mamas, right? I think Cam is another one who just likes to populate the earth. One of the baby mamas said that they rather be a baby mama 3, 4 than be with a man to build something.
Ooh.
And a lot of people had a lot of, I guess, interesting things to say. But damn, I can't find it. But so what's your thoughts on that? Did one of them, I think, I don't know, it was baby mama 4 or 5. It's one of them that said, I'd rather be the baby mama to a rich man than starting over and building with someone.
No, that's the key to a rich man. Most women don't that are baby mama having kids with rich dudes, right? That's not
right.
And they're glorifying something that to other women on IG or whatever that's not normal.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of sad a little bit. But obviously they're looking at just a lifestyle choice. It's a lifestyle choice. They don't have to worry about certain bills. They don't have to get a job. They can just do this or do that and then have these kids and not be married. And it's almost like it's a lifestyle, but a little sad. But yeah, most baby mamas ain't with Cam Newton. Like, it's not, you don't have a guy that's worth millions like that, right? So where you're getting a check for 20 grand a month or whatever you're getting. It's a little sad. I'm not surprised. I mean, I think some women, not most, but some, they just want an image of a certain lifestyle and want the money, and they don't want to work or build something with a husband and work on it, and because that shit's hard. It's easy to have sex with somebody that's rich. That's easy. To build a relationship with somebody, that shit takes work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so too. It's. I mean, at least she's honest, right? Like, at least you're honest. Like, yeah, most people don't say that out loud.
What was the girl's name?
I forgot.
I don't know if it was one of the popular ones like that we've talked about before, but
yeah, I'm trying to find it. I saw it on Facebook somewhere, and there was a lot of comments on it, but I can't find it right now. But he has many. But he's again, they're trying to repopulate the earth. It's like Nick Cannon stuff.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate her honest, but I think she's not looking at it she's looking at it very short term, immediate gratification. I want to have these resources, and it may last for a while, but if she had a relationship with someone that she built with, would have more long-term satisfying life, I think. Yeah. Rather than just being another person that's just so to happen you've had a kid with this man that's not yours, and you're just another one of them. And then things could be, I mean, Cameron Newton seems like he's taking care of his money well, but what happens if that goes away and he has so many kids, or he does something stupid, gets himself in trouble? Like, your whole existence financially is predicated because you want to live that lifestyle is based on some other person.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this. Would these women be right in their thought and the process of them, living a life, if they had a baby with somebody rich and they're getting that monthly baby daddy check, that child support, right? And then they find a man that they really love and then build with him, and then they're just, like, is that I think that could be the route some are taking. Like, I'll find somebody that I really, really want to be with, but I got a baby with this guy that's rich and he's an athlete, a musician, a doctor, a lawyer, and then I'm gonna cash some checks. I ain't gonna work, but I'm gonna find a man that I'll build something with at some point. So that might be the thought process for some of them.
Yeah, I think so. But usually what happens is you was able to get this one guy that was super wealthy and live a really good lifestyle. it's going to be hard to find that same person. I mean, unless you one of these like super IG models that seem to just bounce around different athletes and rappers. But if you got one, and now you look, how do you look for another relationship where that guy was the you're 10, and now
Yeah.
you have to go a little lower, so
Yeah. That's a
your
good point.
expectations are different.
That's a good point. Look, this is a comment from Bobby, which is really good. What's your thought on this? Product of a generation of kids raised by single moms. So they're not being shown what a family unit looks like. Maybe it could be something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. We tend to repeat a lot of our parents and our grandparents to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But the way the society is working right now, it's all about being independent.
Mm.
We talked about this, for hours and hours about the discrepancy in terms of how women are performing in the workplace compared to men. Men are lagging behind. So a woman can literally take care of a child. A fair amount of them could take care of it by themselves. Is it the most optimal way to raise a child? I don't think so. But I think that's just more of that, what do they call it, the modern woman era, where you can do whatever you want and you do it just as great as a man. You can do, and they deal, obviously as a culture we're dealing with that.
Yeah.
And there's other places around the world like Japan, no one's fucking, and there's no kids.
And there's no
No one's
kids.
producing, and everyone's getting older.
But it's a problem though.
It's a significant problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
They need a Nick Cannon in there.
Yeah.
10 Nick Cannons, take them to Japan. They will get back to their population in a matter.
I mean, I want to read Noble Hustle's comment, but now that I'm thinking about it, are we planning a trip to Japan? Are we going?
Well, probably not. I don't know if Japan is like the party spot. I think a lot, like it's fun. I'm sure the food is great, but it's not. It ain't gonna be like
We too broke for Japan. We ain't got money. We ain't got Japan money to have.
Well, that's true. That's true. Barely had LA money.
Right. No one says it would be hard for me to raise another man's child. Sounds harsh, but I don't know if I could. That's it. What's your take on that one?
Well, that's appreciate the honesty. I think it'd be hard for a lot of people. Especially if you watch a lot of YouTube sometimes, because they very discourage that kind of behavior. But I understand it's not something, and we talked about this before, it's not something that you should just jump into casually. It's a big commitment, and it's affecting the child's life and obviously the mom, and it's very complicated. So would I encourage someone to do it? I would say, especially if you're young, no. Obviously life isn't about, having some super hard stances. If you may just get along with somebody, and they may have a child, and then maybe that situation with their father or mom is a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Then sure, but it's very difficult. And I feel like there are people who jump in too quickly. And you understand it's a lot going in a relationship with that child to the parent. Now you're involved. Also, when you are with someone with kids, their time is limited. So if you're free and single, and now you're dating someone with a child, you have to go around with their schedule.
Yeah.
Dates get canceled because something happens to the kid. So it's a lot to take in. So you definitely have to be mature to understand that, and be in a really good relationship, or at least that relationship is solid. Yeah. And unfortunately, a lot of those situations are not solid. It's messy. There's issues back and forth. Whether they're having a fight, now you're just standing there with your dick out, like, okay, I guess I'll go home now. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I know if you experienced it, but it's.
I was in it. I was in that, bro. I was in that. I'll say this. It's not easy. It's very difficult. Right. It takes a lot of communication. Some kids can be. They're not as easily. They don't warm up to another man or woman.
And that's totally natural, right? Like, some are still mad why you're not with it. So I had that a little bit when my parents separated, even though I think they definitely probably should have been. But you still, with this other guy, then especially he telling you what to do now, you're like, yeah, my dad like that. You know what I mean? It's very. So that's something you have to deal with, right? Like, so it's a big commitment. I'll say that. But at a certain age, stop that bullshit. Like, I'm watching some of these YouTube's videos, and the guy's 40 something. Like, I don't even deal with any kids. Who are you talking to in the 40s that don't have a child? most people have at least a child. Like at certain, like in your 20s, sure, you have have that expectation. Like, well, I don't have the kid. Hopefully, my partner does. But when you're getting your late 30s, 40s, 50s, like,
yeah,
unless you're Bill Belichick, you better just deal with someone that's gonna have a kid.
you better figure it out. Yeah,
And that's probably why Bill Belichick fine. I mean, obviously, women around that age is, obviously they I'm not saying they're the most attractive at that point, but they're the healthiest. They're
yeah.
obviously they're grown as women get older, just like us, get bigger, heads that get bigger. We just, but I think for Belichick, it's not like he kept himself.
I mean,
I'm sure he's probably healthy. I'm not even sure, but if he looked, at least if he looked like he was in his 50s at 72, like
yeah,
he looked good
yeah,
for his age.
yeah.
He just looks like a guy.
He looks like
She looks like a model, or she's a cheerleader. It's like,
yeah.
you know,
He looks like a regular dude that has like yeah. He's not, he's not like a Rob Lowe, Jared Leto. Like these guys are old. John Stamos, Mario Lopez. Those guys are
right. Like Mario,
they look like
man. He still looks like he's in his 30s.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, listen, Tom Cruise, whatever he's doing,
Cruise, yeah.
If he now, it'd still be weird because I think he's in his 60s or something like that. So if he dated someone in their 20s, that's kind of weird. But he, at least with the way he looks, I don't know if it's the Scientology in him.
It is. He
looks extremely young for his age.
Yeah, the Scientology thing is the whole about the aliens and this and the spaceships.
Oh yeah, it's weird shit.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is definitely that. He's on something that we don't the non-Scientology, non-rich people can have.
It's the LeBron shit. It's that HGH, man. That's why we're gonna get some of that. Have the time turn back, man. Like
we've been talking about HGH, so I mean, at some point you're gonna have to just do it, man. You're gonna have to.
I'm waiting for the big scandal to pop so they can tell me what brand it is, so I don't have to spend that much time researching it. Like once they figure out how a man in his 40s still one of the top 15 players, how's that possible? And still play all these minutes and block these shots.
LeBron James.
I'm just saying, how is it? How? Because what other person played this effectively, this late in the career?
People played, and there's been athletes to do other types of sports, but they weren't successful still at it. They weren't like an all-star. They weren't one of the best players in the league still. But there's been swimmers or tennis players or maybe other older people that they've aged and they've still been able to stay in their profession. Golfers, but it's different. But like football, Tom Brady did it, but his diet. So obviously it's your diet. He had the TB12. Tom Brady played well into his 40s. So I think it's your diet, and these guys are just taking care of their bodies differently. But also,
you hear me?
I can hear you.
I think I got froze up a little bit. Did you hear me? Okay, cool. And I thought because everything just went black for a second. Like you had a few lives just went black. It just went black for a second. I was like, oh, what's going on?
Weird. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what's going on. Is it a YouTube thing or not? But I mean, I don't know.
Maybe a lot of people want to wait till it goes over the counter. That, whatever. I mean, listen, I mean, the Ozempic thing is a big deal. But that's not over the counter. You got to go to a doctor for that. So it's like some of the stuff, like the technology is advancing. I think it's always a good idea, Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. You can go to CVS next week and get you some HT, whatever, and it's $50 a shot. Are you gonna walk into CVS, Hannibal, and put the $50 on the counter and say,
if I did, I couldn't tell my chick because she will tell me to go to the doctor.
That's not
what go.
I didn't ask you.
Check this. You got because just like all those important stuff that you want to make sure that you're good. That's the whole thing about the vaccine stuff. Like, they try to do like a blanket. Everyone needs this thing, but there's like, shouldn't your doctor tell you if you need it or not? Like your doctor they have your file, they have your stuff.
Okay, so you talk to a medical professional and they say, yeah, this stuff's over the counter.
Next day.
You would go and get it?
Oh yeah.
Oh damn.
Listen, it's natural. All right. It's humans in the name, human growth. So it's not like not foreign. I mean, it's foreign to me, but it goes to my body. It should work. We'll see. If there's any weird side effects, no, I'll just I guess work out and eat well and do the natural thing. So I gotta see what the side effects is.
Yeah. But
And
that's
also
all.
a lot of stuff is not covered by insurance, so that'll have to come out of my pocket, which is
Well, but that's the whole thing about the Ozempic, okay? And I have firsthand knowledge of this. Like the Ozempic
yeah,
is a way to kind of cheat the system, and you can get insurance does cover it sometimes in certain situations. Anyways,
right, yeah.
if you could, if instead of eating right, dieting, exercising, you take a shot and it curbs your appetite and it makes you not eat, and then you lose weight as well, right? Like,
Okay, so the appetite suppressant, basically.
yeah, and then so if the HGH is like over the counter, and instead of having to work out, whatever, it just pumped your muscles
I
up.
think you still need to work out though.
I would have.
Right. Like I know the stuff that like the baseball stuff or some of the stuff that the bodybuilders put together. I don't know if you've seen, I forgot this really good documentary talking about steroids and stuff like that. But you work harder. It's just you can recover faster. So
Yeah,
you're basically your superpower, like you basically take your body and you're supercharging it. So instead of you working out like a dog, right? And you have to take a break, you take a you need an off day. No, you're so geeked up that you're able to work out again. So these
yeah.
guys are just bulking and bulking and bulking. It's like it's it's artificial, obviously.
I
But
think
HGH, I don't think it's the same as an antibiotic steroid where your Barry Bonds and your head is big, like your head is bigger. That's some extra shit. I don't want that. So
no,
let's get it clear. Not that stuff.
Barry Bonds looked way better when he was skinnier. He didn't
Right.
look good when he was big. He was big, but he didn't look right.
Right.
He looked
Because
weird.
he's not that's not how he's naturally supposed to look. So that stuff for the stuff that they used, that's more extreme. That probably has more side effects. You're there to win contests. You're there to make a lot of money. That's why those like the Ronnie Colemans and those weightlifter dudes, they look terrible now. They destroy their body. They push
Yeah,
their body to the limit. Even like Arnold, he moves weird now.
yeah. I've
He's
seen.
not
I mean,
meant to lift that hard and that much.
I think it's Ronnie Coleman. Have you seen video of the guy? He's a black
Fuck, I
bodybuilder.
think
He can't even walk. Like he can't.
yeah.
He literally, like can't. He can't move. It's sad, man. It's crazy, man.
And he
Crazy.
doesn't regret anything. Like any interviews, he he don't care. He loved the fact he was able to do this and have his body look the way it did, but it destroyed your body. Your body's not meant to do that shit. Like you're not supposed to fucking
Nah,
be lifting, like 200 pounds of your head in 2 seconds. Like your body's only just a small, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
but they did it, and I'm going back to the gym now. I didn't want to bring it up, but you're talking about it. Trying to get my shit together. So far
Okay.
so good. So
I
far so
like.
good.
You got to get
Yeah.
past them 30 days, bro. The 30 days, man. It's the 30 days is the toughest, and you form a new routine, and sometimes it can get easier. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I found a really good gym. Now I'm gonna sound bougie when I say this, but I don't know if you have Planet Fitness.
yeah,
And you have Blink as well? Well, Blink
never.
is on the East Coast. Okay, so Blink is the same as Planet Fitness, but their brand colors are like blue, like light blue. So it's very similar. It's $10 to get in, and it's unlimited, whatever. The problem is there's too many people at the one near my house. When I moved, even the one I used to be, the Blink, because I used to do Blink instead of Planet Fitness, and you go in there and there's too many people. There's just too many people.
Is
You
it?
got the gentrifiers, you got the people from the hood, you got the weirdo. It's just too like you have to wait for machines.
Yeah.
Um,
Is that awkward for you to work out or want to work out around when there's a lot of people? And do you find like it's like when you're waiting for a machine, does it take away the
it's
more?
annoying. 'Cause I'm impatient. I want the machine I want. Like I want that one.
Yeah.
But now I gotta do this similar workout, different thing. So what I did was I found a gym that costs a little bit more money. And
That's
that, yeah, it's bougie as shit. But I walk in, I can any machine I want is fantastic. There's only like 10, 15 people in there. So I will probably go more often because you have your own space. You're not smelling funk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it ain't $10.
no,
It's not 10. So you're paying for the little bit of a little more luxury.
the exclusivity of it. It's the get the hell out. I don't want the same, and that's why I think it works. If it was a little bigger and had more shit, I'd probably go back in the Blink. But
Yeah.
nah, I gotta pay a little bit more money. Try to get this belly gone.
Well, I mean, it's the beer and the burritos and the wine, bro. You got to cut out.
You know, that wine is the, that probably doesn't help. Slim says I just hoop at the gym and do my definitely. You don't need to, man. You getting that cardio going in. Shut up.
Oh Lord. I know you guys have all seen
He's so silly.
videos of all like the girls and the guys. They set up their cameras and then they're like offended when somebody walks by or doesn't do this, and they're like, "You're in my." Like the whole.
I never had that experience before. I've seen there's a few people who do the filming thing.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I walk by it like I don't. Yeah, you just keep. That's the thing. Like if whatever people are doing, if you don't know, just keep it moving.
Yeah.
But that's a shame. Like you walking by a woman and then she immediately assumes you looked at her behind.
Yeah.
It could be true, but at the same time, we're trying to walk so we're not walking into things. Got to make sure we have our looking at our surroundings.
Yeah.
But I never had to deal with that.
If you're half naked and you're in a gym working out, I'm gonna look at your ass. I don't give a you're offended by it. I'm sorry. It's just it's a natural. We're looking around, but
yeah, just as long as you're not being creepy with it, like you're sitting there staring at the person, that's uncomfortable. It's like, but if you're there walking by, you're admiring the people who are working out. Like, you know what? I'm inspired. Everyone's working out. Oh, look at this young lady.
Yeah.
Doing very well. You just keep it moving. But yeah, I'm gonna try to keep that going. The 30-day challenge.
So maybe you should start another channel, and do like a 30-day challenge workout thing. You can vlog your HGH over the counter, your weight loss.
That may actually be a good idea, but I don't know if I'm ready to do that yet. But yeah, for me to watch, at least for me, if I'm watching some guy work out, they better look what
good.
I want to look like. Like people be looking regular. Like how you're not there yet.
We're the everyday man. People like the everyday man. They feel like they're in the journey with you. They don't, they're looking at you and they look like, you look like them. So there's like a relatability there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was more like a vlog situation. I know also working out, just like everything else that has some kind of technical ability, you will show your workout, film it, and there'll be 15 comments or 20 comments telling you how you did it wrong. How you need to improve it. This is the workout you should be doing.
Yeah.
Because listen, people in jail look like they've roared out their minds after spending a few months, and there's no special routines. It's the same weights, same machines, and they can figure it out. So like a lot of it we deal with here, I think we overcomplicate it. When you talk about working out, stuff like that. So
I think you're right, actually. But there's, and everybody's body's different. Everybody's macros is different. I've talked to you about the macros thing, and what I can eat might be different than you, and vice versa. You have to really know the makeup of your body and what you can take, and the calorie. I think some people do overcomplicate it. I think you're right about that for sure.
I just want to point this out. So Bobby, this gym, no mirrors.
Oh, what?
And I don't, that must be intentional. So usually that like in a weight racks or something like that, they'll have like a big long, mirrored glass, so you can see your form. I've walked around. There's no mirrors.
This is a bougie place. I'm imagining when I walk in that place, there's like flowers and plants, and there's like Andre 3000 flute music, and there's people doing yoga on the side.
It's like purposeful industrial. So they like exposed brick. They try to make it look like just strong men just working out. So the pretentiousness is actually gone in this spot. So you just got big burly men picking up, kettlebells over their head.
Yeah.
So people walking by, they're just like this shit, and and I'm like, what's going on, guys?
And what are you doing? You going on like the treadmill?
Do my little workouts. Not treadmill, but just do my little thing. I'm not in compete. I'm not doing no strongman because some of them look like they do strongman shit. That's how big and not like muscular, like roared it out, just like like Mark Henry. I don't know if you watch wrestling, but like big, solid dude.
Big dude.
Yeah, you need a gun because you can't fight. Like I ain't fighting you.
He's the size of
it's a big tree trunk. They just fucking flip you over like Brock Lesnar. Like you got the equalizers, weapons, all running.
Could you imagine trying to like fight a guy that big? What would you be like? You can't.
You gotta do illegal shit. Like this is UFC 1. You got eye gouge, fucking. Hopefully, have like some kind of weapon. You got a pepper spray. You can't. This is not TV, right? This is not Jackie Chan gonna fight some 500-pound muscly dude and beat his ass. Like this is real life. So, run, weapon. I don't know. Kick him in the nuts.
I'm kicking motherfuckers in the ball sack. Like I'm biting ears off.
If a guy this mad wants to go fight, and this is defend my life now. This is not just a normal this is not school or anything. It's like, why is this big man trying to get at me? All right, kick him in the nuts, like whatever, to get out of that situation. So that one. I prefer a gym that smells like hot dog water, like a dingy dungeon. Interesting.
That's nasty.
Scream like a teenage girl.
I say Bobby's running away. Listen, I might be there with you, bro. If I got,
you gotta assess the situation and make the best decision. Unfortunately, now everything is recorded. Like back in the day, you can do something like that and come across like a bitch, but no one would know unless people are in the neighborhood. But then who cares what they have to say? Now, like every action, some guy is recording it. But I think you still need to follow what makes the most sense. If it's time to run, fucking run. Like, what's the point?
I ain't dying, man. Fuck
yeah. It's like what for what? Doesn't help anybody. But on that note, guys, we went over a little bit of an hour just talking about random shit.
So
what's that is?
Hannibal says JJ Reddick won't last 4 years. And Hannibal seems like he's on board with these old dingy men dating women that could be their great granddaughter. So
I won't disagree. It does look weird, but I think at a certain age you don't care, or it's one of these people where they've been on top their whole lives. He doesn't look at himself as old and wrinkled like we do. He don't give a fuck. Yeah, and a lot of powerful men have that same where they're not with us. They're not with society. Where most of that would not even be something possible, but. Yeah, he lives a life where 1% of what the most wealthy men can do, and we look at it and it's pretty weird, right? Yeah. Sometimes we look at it even if it's 20 years a difference.
I mean, let me ask you this. And what up, Hoodie? How you doing? Let me ask you this, and you guys can, as we're wrapping up the show, let me know in the comments. So I'm 42. I'll be 43 in November, right? You're gonna be what 40?
40, yeah, September,
right? Okay,
3 months from now,
right? So I'm 43. And if I come to you and say, hey, bro, man, I'm dating this chick. She's 19 years old. She graduated high school last year. How do you feel about that? I'm 43.
I probably do like, I don't know if you watch Futurama, but Fry, he like squints his eyes. I would squint. I'm like, what's going on, bro? What's going on there? Yeah. What's happening? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I understand. Yeah, definitely. I feel like especially as you're older, you feel like you're taking advantage of, but it's moral, right? It's not anything legal because everyone is of consent. So now it's a level of society morals. Are we looking at the situation? Are you taking advantage of this girl?
Right.
Is this girl taking advantage of you?
Right.
And then we kind of suss out, and it's interesting. I never had to deal with that. I never had friends that dated. I mean, I guess I'm getting to that point now. Like, all my friends are around 40, so I haven't seen anyone come around with a 19-year-old. But I appreciate you bringing it up because I would wonder how would I react to it? How would you? I don't know. I'm like, all right, man.
Well, I mean, listen, Bobby's got a good point. I'm giving you the side eye, but deep down, I'd be
jealous.
Listen, if my boy, I got a buddy that's like 44, and he's never been married, doesn't have any kids, good looking dude. He's just. He got his very high expectations and standards.
Yeah.
If he rolled up to my kid's birthday party in a month and was with some 19-year-old chick and she was hot as fuck, I'd probably be like, damn, bro. I'd be a little jealous, but I'd look at him and at some point be like, are you good? Like, what's going on here? Like, she's 19. Like, you got to have that conversation as a boy. Like,
at least have a conversation. Like, is everything cool? Because also we all have certain maybe not fair, but also we look at a situation, we look at him like, okay, this really old man was with a young girl. It's probably some kind of exchange going on.
You would think.
Where, you're getting the girlfriend experience, or And maybe he's being honest. Hey, we're here to have a fun time for a little while.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully she's mature enough and has an intellectual ability to decide this is what she wants to do.
Yes.
This does look. I mean, people will look at her differently if you're dating a 70-something-year-old. Like, are you just taking advantage of this old man? Wait till he croaks to take his money.
Yeah.
So it's like both people have to deal with a lot of questions. So it's like, do you care about what other people are saying?
Yeah. Good point. For me, I'm not entering a relationship with no 19-year-old. But if you're 19 and you're not stupid, we can have some fun. But I ain't calling you my girlfriend. You're not spending the night. I'm not parading you around town. I'm not gonna marry you. Like, nah, we could, But that, yeah, no, I'm not taking her to the bar.
Also, like a committed situation. That age gap is significant. It is now. To be honest, if someone in the 70s and someone 40, 50, it's still decades, but that's not the same level of.
So they've lived life. There's a life.
Yeah, they've all lived a life already. So yeah, it could be a little older, obviously, but it's not the same compared to in the 72 to 24. That's for this to be announced, meaning that's a relationship. Because if it was just a play like situation, you saw a few pictures and then you win. But this is a long going thing, which is a little weird. But I think also, like I said before, Belichick's not coaching, right? I think he just has a front office position, or what does he have?
I'm not sure. I know he's not coaching. I don't think
he's not coaching. So now he's like, I'm retired. I left my old relationship. Fuck y'all, And go back to the idea about athletes playing phenomenal into their old age. We totally forgot Tom Brady. I mean, that man won a Super Bowl in his mid 40s. So okay, and he does not look he takes anything. Like he just. Yeah, he's obviously fit, but it's not the same as LeBron just being like this superior athlete. And we'll see what happens with Aaron Rodgers. I know he's getting. How old is Aaron? Rodgers in his late 30s, right?
Yeah, he's got to be. I think Aaron Rodgers is probably 39 or 40 years old.
So we'll see. And remember, he played for 10 seconds, broke his ass, and he couldn't play anymore. So we'll see what happens with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers turned 40 in December 2nd. There you go.
Yeah. I
mean, he's getting paid $33 million.
I don't think the Jets. They got a good. I'm not expecting much from Aaron Rodgers. He hasn't played football in over a year. He's good, but I'm not expecting much. I think the AFC is loaded, so I don't think the Jets are going to do much this year.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know. Well, apparently, just some news just came out. So Aaron Rodgers is trending after a Jets player teammate cut for marijuana arrest. Oh, that's great.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, defensive back Ty Hayes was arrested in Alabama for possession of marijuana. You can't do it in Alabama, right? Super conservative. Whatever. I hope one of the New York teams do something because I don't have a lot of faith in the Giants. So the Jets have to play decent football. I'm going to be really upset.
Giants are going to be really bad. They're going to be really bad.
Yeah, I can't even argue. That's why we're not. There's no bets coming in. I mean, there's high expectations for your Bears.
There is.
But your Bears is a better team overall.
On paper,
a better roster. Yeah, it's a better roster than. And then we got to deal with the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Yep.
And it doesn't even matter. Usually, the one team we could beat is Nova. We could beat those Commanders. That's the only team we can beat consistently. That's it.
They got that rookie, man. He won the Heisman at LSU. Daniels, I think his last name is. I mean, who knows? He can run. He can pass. I mean, this could be on the up. Who knows, man? Who knows?
We'll see. But I don't know, guys. Appreciate you hanging out with us this little late evening, and we'll be back on Wednesday with more shenanigans and stuff like that. Yeah.
More wine.
More wine. Later.
Bringing them my bottle on Wednesday.